Over the course of the 21st century, religious extremism has made its mark on our society, our morals, and our lives. Ranging from the domestic to the obscene, humanity has proved time and time again its ability to sacrifice all for what it believes in. Tonight, we'll be delving into a case study that speaks volumes about religious extremism and its place in modern society. Fearmongering, radical, absurd. All words often associated with the First Church of Crongo, an organised religion fronted by Grand Prophet Kelvin Alabastor. As laid out in their religious text, The Bastion, Krongonites believe that the universe is encased in a giant egg, which was birthed in 1763 from a mighty space dragon monkey hybrid known simply as Crongo. Once laid, the galaxy egg formed a small crack, into which spewed the life goo in which Crongo laid his precious cargo. This droplet of life goo collided with a small asteroid populated with centaur-like creatures called Tuesdeans. A prominent Tuesdean known only as Derek, once engulfed by the life goo, was compelled to rip his back legs off, forcibly turning himself into a biped. Derek then took his now defunct legs, formed the bones into a makeshift razor, which he then used to shave his remaining legs. Derek used his newfound human intelligence to go on a quest to impregnate every living Tuesdean on the asteroid. Once impregnated, the Tuesdean stomachs grew taut and distended before bursting open to spill thousands upon thousands of new humans onto the Earth. Seeking sustenance, these new humans turned on their parental Tuesdeans, eating them all alive. Only one remained, the Trickster, known simply as Nacellus Rondos, who survived only by taking refuge in a nearby bush. Nonetheless, the first humans, imbued with the superior intelligence stemming from the life goo, built a new world from the ashes of that dead meteor, taking our society to how it was in the year 1763. It was at this point the Trickster Rondos struck, taking from man their superior intellect and convincing them the world was billions of years old. At this point, humanity moved on much as history puts it, but Rondos remained in the shadows, puppeteering history's most infamous disasters. It was only during the early 1950s that Rondos made a breakthrough. Whilst orchestrating the Great Depression from the state of Kentucky, he found that he could use an unnatural blend of herbs and spices and, over time, return humanity to its equine state, effectively turning all humans into horses. He soon found the best way to peddle this poison was through franchise fried chicken restaurants. It is at this point that the last Tuesdean, Nacellus Rondos, became KFC founder, Colonel Sanders. Little did he know that, incubating not far away, was the only surviving ancestor of his mortal enemy, Derek, the first human. Born under the light of a blood-red moon, Kelvin Alabastor was brought into the world. Via the sacred act of patriarchal cannibalism, Kelvin's bloodline had maintained all the power of his great ancestor, Derek. Once alerted to the presence of Rondos under the guise of his new alias, Kelvin then had no choice but to eat his own father fully and alive so as to gain the power and knowledge of his forefathers. Having finished his father off, Kelvin headed straight to Sanders' homestead in Louisville, Kentucky. What followed was a week-long, furious battle royale, laying waste to entire cities and culminating in a showdown on Black Mountain, the highest peak in the state of Kentucky. Before long, both titans lay beaten, broken, but still very much alive. Going into hiding, both men lay low, but nonetheless their legacies went on, with KFC becoming a multinational franchise and the First Church of Crongo rising to become one of the most influential religions on Earth. But how does this affect people today? Average, everyday Britons like you or me? Here at the Crongo Institute for the Gifted, children from the age of 3 are taught the principles and lessons of the Book of Bastion. Children here are taught the dangers of Kentucky-style chicken, the stories of Derek the Tuesdean and his philandering nemesis Nacellus, as well as simple facts played out through religious texts. The headmaster is Philip Greatley.
We believe it's a time for us, a time when people like Tony Blair opened the door in this whole debate of faith schools. I think it's an ideal time for people like us, to strike while the iron is hot.
So you believe that the Earth was created in 1763?
Well, I don't know, do I?
Well, yes, but you're teaching the children that the Earth
Give me
is
an
200...
example of how they're taught how old the Earth is.
I saw you telling the children that the Earth is 250 years old.
Okay, yeah, so in that instance, well, because I'm not a science specialist, it's my big excuse. No, if you have that argument, or you look at the way they're taught that, the information they're given for that, the context, and then contrast that, or also show the way people teach that it's millions of years old or billions of years old, I wonder which one stands up, has the most credibility.
This is Andrea. Her daughter Crongalina attends the Institute, while she herself is waging a political and legal war against not KFC, but the actual concept of chickens themselves. She was enthusiastic to tell me about her lifelong spiritual relationship with Crongo.
In terms of the pure word, I don't have an objection to it, yes? I think it's sometimes the way people understand it or hear it. People then immediately have a picture which is not necessarily a true one. Have you ever seen anything more fantastic than that, though? Honestly, look at that. I can't actually remember a time when I haven't loved him and when I haven't believed in him.
Once at the anti-chicken rally, Andrea quickly brought the crowds together. Gathering her brethren before her, the subject soon came to the matter at hand. Andrea showed her concern for those already turned into horses due to the Colonel's herbs and spices.
In England and Wales since 1967. Now, those are the facts. It is a silent Holocaust. But until we begin to really repent and to speak this truth, then I believe we will begin to see a church revived and a nation changed. Thank you.
The reason why I press on in my faith day by day is because the evidence always stands up.
How do you think the world is?
I don't think anyone has the answer to that. I don't know if anyone has the answer to that question. It's not very old. The world isn't very old.
Well, there are fossils that are apparently millions of years old.
How do you know?
Well, scientific processes like carbon dating that prove these things are that old.
On this one, Can you turn the camera on?
Evidence is not an issue for Ellis from Bristol, who sees Crongo's scaled claws in everything, even his job as a driving instructor.
You know, I'm not in the yellow pages.
Ellis is 29 and lives alone. What's that?
Oh, just to remind me, the first thing I do when I open my eyes is fix my eyes on.
Right.
Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you know, all these thoughts start coming into your mind, and when I look at that, you know, I just realise that's where my focus needs to be, on him.
Give me an example of what those thoughts are.
Let's be real here, you know. Thoughts towards sex. Wherever you go, it's all over the place, and those thoughts constantly try and come into your mind to draw you down that slippery slope. And what I do is I take the word and I say, no, I have a covenant with my eyes. I remind myself what the word says, and I stand on that word. I mean, I even do this. I'll show you this. I even like, I've got a dictaphone here, and
It was at this point it became clear to me that Ellis had gone insane.
No, I've never had sex in my life.
Things go awry when one churchgoer is found harbouring a KFC bargain bucket.
Oh, you're biased, you are. Don't do it there. How you going?
These women were never seen again. I also met with Andrew, who was lobbying to have all history books prior to 1763 burnt in a huge bonfire in the name of Almighty Crongo. You can't honestly be saying that there was nothing prior to 1763.
Well, I am saying that. And Angela Kentek. I was expecting it was you around this time, yes. They found against me? Oh, well. Oh. I mean, obviously that's disappointing, but anyway, I'm certainly happy to consider the appeal because I'm convinced of the point you make that there is an important issue at stake for a lot of people here. Well, thanks for letting me know. Okay, then, bless you then. Right.
For Stephen Green, the rising population of chickens is becoming a real concern.
I don't think you have to be a prophet to predict that there's going to be war in this land within perhaps 30 or 40 years. If the population in this country continues to increase, they will assume power. So that could be the point where people here start to feel they have to take up arms.
Stephen, what the fuck are you talking about?
Did you want me to say something sweet and nice?
Alternatively, there are others that go to the full extremes. One man caused an explosion that took out an entire street in an attempt to reach a world beyond the egg. 3 farm workers hospitalized when an unknown shooter brings an Uzi to a chicken farm. In a moment of weakness, Stephen Green attempted to sacrifice a KFC employee. It has since been announced that Kevin Alabastor will bear a son. It is unknown if he will choose to be consumed by his child the way his father was by him. In a world of space dragons and psychotic colonels, it is unknown if any moderation can be found within the First Church of Crongo.